In this video, we will share the continuation, the third part, of a moving story based on real events, featuring a starseed originating from Antares. If you haven't watched the previous parts yet, we invite you to do so to fully grasp the profound context of this fascinating journey. The conversation you're about to witness was channeled on May 30th, 2024, during a powerful session guided by Yared Sasaka Hana, a channeler, shaman, and medium whose sensitivity transcends the earthly realm. On this occasion, our protagonist, whom you previously knew as Lucía, has chosen to reveal her true name, Luisa. For the first time, Luisa openly shares her identity, hoping that her experience will inspire and guide other souls seeking answers. Yared, born in the magical land of Mexico, has been blessed and guided by her ancestors from childhood to awaken extraordinary gifts. Through channeling, that's sacred and pure telepathy, Yared establishes connections with guides and guardians of elevated frequencies, enabling starseeds incarnated on Earth, souls who made profound agreements before their arrival here, to reconnect with their cosmic families. This testimony arises from Luisa's sincere wish, as she firmly believes her experience can help others explore their spiritual and personal identities. Our intention is not to convince or influence your beliefs. We leave that to other practices or religions. We simply want to share with you an authentic and truthful story, inviting you to listen with your own inner wisdom and take only what deeply resonates with you. At the end of the video, you will find Luisa and Yared's Instagram accounts, giving you the opportunity to connect directly with them if you wish to explore further, ask questions, or receive additional information about this incredible experience. We warmly welcome you to this encounter, where the earthly meets the celestial, and perhaps where you too may discover something more about yourself.
You were waiting for me to introduce myself. My name is Aika. Tadanael has given me the chance to speak. He is the leader, the one who is almost always by your side. Leader of what, you might ask? Well, he is the leader of the team managing your immersion pod. Our immersion technology is very similar to the Tegatine one, as you already know, because we are a sub-race of theirs. That's why each specialized team always has someone leading it. I'm part of that team, but I'm not in charge. My task is constantly receiving information and selecting what you've decided to keep as memories during your experience on Earth. Afterward, I store everything in an information database so that at the end of your journey, because after all, this is indeed a journey, you can review each of these selected memories. Then, from your stellar perspective, you'll decide which ones to keep and which ones to release. How are you? It's been so long since we spoke. Rael.
Hello, Aika. Is that how you pronounce it?
Aika. But don't worry, you can call me Aika.
Okay, perfect, Aika. Hi, Aika. It's nice to meet you because I don't remember you, but I'm very happy to speak with you. Tadanael? Why isn't he here? I thought he would also be present.
Of course Tadanael is nearby. Today I just asked him for some time so I could greet you first and have this moment together. He'll join later.
Perfect, that sounds good. Well, I have some questions. I hope you can help me. First, I wanted to ask you about my partner. Do you know who I'm talking about? I'd like to know her name and what she looks like because during the last session, they couldn't give me any details.
Why do you think I'm talking to you now? I'm starting to feel nervous. My hands are sweating. I've desired this moment for so long to speak with you, but honestly, I lack the courage. It's difficult for me because, from my perspective, you're still here. I can physically see you right now, floating inside a blue-colored liquid. Your eyes are slightly closed, and I know you're alive because the machines indicate that your body is functioning perfectly. However, your consciousness is far away there on Earth. Now you understand who I am, right?
Yes, now I know.
I'm 1 meter 73 centimeters tall. My hair is black and curly. My build is slender, and my face is oval-shaped. My eyes are green, my lips medium-sized, and my ears are slightly rounded at the tip, with attached earlobes. Forgive me. Right now I'm crying.
No, don't worry. All the messages I sent you mentally, did you receive them?
That's why I'm here.
Thank you. I've missed you so much.
I just want you to know I've heard you, and that everything your heart feels is real. That sense of separation you experience, I feel it too. But I want you to understand that we're not separated. You're here. You will awaken. I know it. Don't feel frustrated while you're there. Live the life you chose as part of the experience you wanted. Set aside frustration and understand that in the end, what truly matters is the experience itself. I've come to tell you that this frustration is the only thing preventing you from accessing your own memories. You're searching for them, but it's difficult. And every time you dream, you try to control the dream instead of letting it flow naturally. So, what you must do is relax and trust, because every time you try to recall who you truly are, you generate deep confusion in yourself, since you're currently in a body different from your original one. Yet, your essence always remembers who you are. That's where the confusion arises. In particular, I want you to know that I wish I could touch your face and look at you for a few seconds to tell you, stop being afraid, stop searching, stop insisting there's separation. Even if you feel it, the truth is that it doesn't exist. We're close. Fulfill the life you went to live on Earth so you won't have to return again, because sometimes we feel something was left incomplete, or we did something wrong, especially people like you, who are perfectionists. You carried that perfectionism to Earth. Understand that even if something goes wrong, nobody can stop you. You have every right to live this experience. It's like a dream in which you're asleep, and the moment will come when you'll awaken and say, being on Earth felt like a nightmare, but I achieved what I wanted to live. I accomplished it, and I don't want to go back. That's the whole purpose of going there. To understand human society, help as much as you can without losing yourself, and then return home.
I'm very glad to hear you. You can't imagine how long I've waited for this moment. Even though I don't remember you, I've always felt you. I knew someone was there. I could sense it until I confirmed it in the first session when they told me about you. Since then, I felt at peace because I've always felt an emptiness no one could fill, a loneliness I couldn't explain. Yet deep inside, I knew someone was there. I felt it, but didn't know how to express it. Now, everything makes sense.
We've shared many reincarnations together. This is the first incarnation in which you are separated from me, so it's natural you felt that emptiness.
I wanted to know if it was you who sent some drones a few months ago when I was in Argentina. There were several of them, and I felt they were flying close to me. I had the impression it was you. Did it have something to do with you?
Yes, it had something to do with me. I was on patrol duty, doing routine reconnaissance together with the Alpha Centauri patrol aboard one of the ships of the Black Knight type. I made a mistake and had to return home. A minor mistake, like flying drones in a busy city where we didn't have permission to fly. It was just a little whim of mine, which led my superiors to reprimand me. Not harshly, but we definitely got scolded. I just wanted to take a peek, see how you were doing, and arranged a flyby. But if you could see them, it was definitely worth it. Now I'm resting in Antares. I'll return to Earth's orbit as soon as possible. However, you may already know that our Antarian team is starting to reduce its troops because we're being represented by Alanim, First of Temur. This leads us into exopolitics, matters you probably already know about, but which, after all, are part of life out here. Since we're a subrace of the Tegatines, like siblings or cousins, we've decided that Tegeta should represent us as a race before others, although we still maintain our own patrol duties through the Federation. Now Tegeta makes the decisions, backed by our support, our fleet, and generally by our entire planet. They're part of the Alcyone Council and are currently supporting Alenim. This is why the Federation tries to convince all races that aren't fully informed about Earth's situation why the planet should remain as it is. In the end, they're the ones filling your skies with so many things, confusing people who no longer know what's real and what's not. I know because I used to be part of those patrol squadrons. That's why I'm home now. I broke a few rules, but it was absolutely worth it. I feel it's incredible what's happening right now.
It's incredible for me too. You can't imagine how much I wished for this moment. I could see the drones, all the messages I was sending you with my mind. Did you receive them?
Yes. While I was on patrol, I approached, clearly received your telepathic message, and it filled me with happiness. Afterward, I was temporarily removed from orbit, but it was definitely worth it. My message was something like, "Yes, I saw you. Today I saw you," or something similar.
I knew it. I felt that connection very strongly, like a clear, "I saw you today," in my mind. It was very clear. I'm so happy you confirmed it. You don't know how much I appreciate this. Sometimes I thought my thoughts weren't getting through, or maybe it was just my imagination.
Not at all. They reached me clearly. Keep in mind that sometimes, from inside the immersion, everything seems confusing, but from here there isn't as much interference. I was also happy you received my message. I wasn't sure if it would reach you clearly, but yes, it did.
How many Antarian people are there on Earth?
There's something here that might not match what you expect. There are immersion chambers where people are not physically on Earth, but are experiencing a reality on another planet. And there are also immersion chambers here on Earth, where people are physically present. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Oh. Sorry. I'm looking at the numbers. Several have exited, but unfortunately, they came back in. I'm only reading the general data. So in total, there are around 1.2 million starseeds in immersion. Currently, there are about 2,500 awakened starseeds active on Earth, including you.
Yes, I understand. All right, but this connection I'm making, do they also make it, those 2,500? Some kind of communication with us as their star race?
Across the planet, no more than 500 maintain active communication so far. Your globe is very large.
Let's talk a little bit about me. How am I in my real form over there? My personality, my behavior with colleagues, how I interact socially. Could you describe me?
You're quite stubborn and very much a perfectionist. You like things to be precise, often getting caught up in details, refusing to stop until you achieve exactly what you want. You're also very loyal and seek harmony within your group, but you're not afraid to confront anyone when you think they're wrong. You're a man of few words, but those few are powerful. All right, now about your physical description. Give me a moment, because I'm carefully observing you to ensure I don't miss any detail. It's important for you to clearly know how you look. When you first entered immersion, you had short hair. Normally, Antarian men wear it around shoulder length, although some keep it very short, almost like human soldiers. However, your hair has grown, and now it's exactly at shoulder length. It's very dark, almost black. Your eyebrows are thick and well-defined. Your eyelashes stand out. They're long and abundant, both above and below. Your nose is quite defined, medium-sized, and harmonizes beautifully with your face. Your features are delicate and slightly distinctive. You're someone of few words. You think carefully before speaking and always fully understand what you're going to say. That makes you very trustworthy and kind. In your right ear, you have a small hole because you used to wear an earring before immersion. Your left ear doesn't have one. Your earlobes are slightly detached, barely noticeable. You have a small mole on one side of your face, very close to your right ear. Very tiny, but I can see it clearly. Your neck is well defined. Your arms are toned, and as I mentioned, you have an athletic build. Your skin tone is fair, a bit pale, probably due to lack of sunlight from the immersion. Your hands are large, and you have a scar on your thumb, the result of some training session that apparently was deep and painful. Your feet are perfectly aligned. The toes follow a neat order like steps, from smallest to largest. Your legs are also very toned. The muscles in your calves are clearly defined. Describing you makes me feel closer to you. Although I can physically see you, this sensation grows stronger, making your presence feel even closer. It's as if you could open your eyes, and I could tell you they're a bright grayish blue. But that's from memory, as your eyes are closed during immersion. I wish I could open them and see you looking back at me, but right now, I'm the one watching you. And that's okay. I remember many times when we slept looking up at the stars. You spent more time looking at me than at them. We used to lie there on the grass, talking about what it would be like to live elsewhere. Now it's my turn to watch you without you noticing. It was difficult deciding to let you go alone and not accompany you. We talked about this extensively, even if you don't remember it now. Originally, we were both supposed to enter together, but in the end, we agreed only you would enter, in case something happened so I could come and get you. Don't worry about that. I want you to understand that the decision for you to return was one in which I was also considered. It wasn't rushed or irrational. We thought it through carefully before your first entry. So, remain calm. Well, calm within the body you're in now, and strive to live the life you've always wanted, the one that caused you confusion. That's why you came back, to experience. Don't make me have to return to solve things. I prefer that you handle them yourself because it was your decision. Time there is marked. Relatively, there's a lot left. But actually, time isn't flowing the same way for you. It seems like it is, but it isn't. Only the time of the life you live as Lucía, or whatever your name is now, is running. Everything happening is monitored from here. For us, what may seem like years in your experience could be mere seconds here. It's difficult to compare Earth time with ours. You've been told there's a temporal lag, but that only occurs during travel between places. You've never really left where you are. It's your consciousness that's traveling. What will awaken is your consciousness in your original body, much like in the movie Avatar. The time you've spent lying there, compared to what you're living in that experience, is nothing more than a dream. When you wake up here, it'll be as if you've just entered. The only thing that will change is your consciousness, returning with more knowledge, expanded and clearer. You will have completed your mission in every aspect: personal, human collective, and Antarian collective. Because ultimately, you're here for a mission greater than yourself, to nourish the collectives with information. Let's keep describing you. Let's talk about your character. Many times, you seem serious, but most of the time, you're happy. You're someone who greatly enjoys doing things with your hands. Here, I'd like to clarify something. This isn't directly about who you are on Earth, but rather your true self. Lucía is just a part of you, but not entirely you. Even though she resembles the person you truly represent, you prefer quiet and open spaces. You don't need the company of many people. On Earth, you've likely felt overwhelmed by crowded places and wanted to run away. Here, our reality is more peaceful. There's not such a crowd, and we can be at peace with ourselves. You're very creative and idealistic. You're always trying to imagine new things, to create. You seek deep connections within yourself. You're very sensible and calm when you speak. You pause, as if carefully considering every word before saying it. You understand life well and try to guide others in the best possible way. You have very good friends and enjoy creating strong bonds, not only with me, but also with Taniel. You spent a lot of time together, thinking about how to build things. Ships that could fly faster, or modifications to make certain machines more functional. You're very good friends who trust each other completely. You're loyal, honest, and detest injustice. That's why you're on Earth, after all. When something displeases you, your gaze hardens, and you furrow your brow as if ready to split something in half with a sword. By the way, you're very skilled with the sword. You thought you'd fight a physical battle, but you're actually engaged in a spiritual war. I believe that's what has been hardest for you to understand, that the struggle there is internal, on the astral plane. That's why sometimes you wake up feeling very tired, with aching arms or legs. It's because you've been fighting during the night. Don't worry about that. I want you to understand that the decision for you to return was one in which I was also considered. It wasn't rushed or irrational. We thought it through carefully before your first entry. So remain calm. Well, calm within the body you're in now, and strive to live the life you've always wanted, the one that caused you confusion. That's why you came back, to experience. Don't make me have to return to solve things. I prefer that you handle them yourself because it was your decision. You're making this a bit complicated for me.
Now everything makes sense. You've accurately described who I am here, How do people relate to each other on Antares? Why?
Because you're asking this from such a human perspective. You're asking me what relationships with other people would be like. But remember that our society is different. It's a society created by the consciousness of many people who have chosen to be here. It's also true that we're highly compatible with those around us. People who approach us have very similar skills, ideas, and objectives. That's why what you call friends is almost like talking about siblings. When you hear us refer to others as sister or brother, I mean neighboring races, it's because we share the same essence. I'm not saying there aren't differences, but when we speak of closeness and friendship, it's usually with beings who have frequencies very similar to ours. That's how you interact among yourselves. You're creative, free-spirited, and truly yourselves. I recall an occasion when I saw you arguing with Tana L. You were trying to decide on the shape of a spacecraft. You wanted the tip to be rounded, and he preferred it slightly more oval. Suddenly, you started sketching on your tablets similar to human ones, creating animations projected holographically in front of you to view them from different angles. Then Saniel arrived, very calmly, unaware of what was happening, and suddenly he fell into your clutches. Poor man. I felt compassion for him because he spent hours, in human terms, trying to mediate, as you two were locked in your debate, both wanting to be right. Finally, when he left, you were laughing uncontrollably, each with a hand on the other's shoulder, realizing the absurdity of it all. You understood each other's real reasons behind your ideas, and laughed also at what Saniel had to endure during that time. That's how you get along. You're such partners in crime that you enjoy doing things just to have fun and laugh out loud. Generally, you always try to maintain harmony. You're like Saniel. You try to be impartial. But sometimes you're very stubborn and don't grasp this impartiality until someone makes you see things differently. In the end, you didn't even build that spacecraft. It remained a project. However, together with Saniel, you ended up focusing on something else. Building a kind of breakwater so the waters wouldn't directly reach a nearby community. That's why Saniel was interested in your conversation. What really mattered was that project, not the spacecraft. You both realized this almost simultaneously, and that's when laughter broke out. Now you understand how our priorities work. Here, we work in teams based on what's most urgent and helps others. It's not that we don't do things for ourselves, but we trust that when we need help, others will come to assist us in the same way we went to help that community. Likewise, when you want to resume the spacecraft idea, people from there will come to move heavy materials or whatever is needed. Everything is interconnected. We always help each other, which makes us a solid, advanced, unified, and holographic society. You're thinking about how you relate to your work colleagues based on your human experience, and that's nothing like what we live here. It's true that each one has their interests. But unlike on Earth, here we know what's inside each being because we have telepathy. On Earth, you don't know the ethics or thoughts of those around you. You can't read minds, which makes communication difficult. Additionally, on Earth, you speak little because as an Antarian, you are already inclined to speak little, and the lack of telepathy makes it even harder for you to engage in conversations. It's normal that you find it challenging. Don't feel bad. This is simply how this incarnation is, Let things flow and don't get angry with yourself.
And how does our Antarian society differ from the Tegatan society, for example?
In customs, culture, diet. In terms of technology, we have many similarities because we collaborate closely. For instance, the immersion chamber you use was developed together with the Tegatans and other races. Our differences lie in subtle cultural aspects. We Antarians are somewhat more exploratory and even more physical in certain aspects. We have a somewhat more muscular build and are very active. Tegatans tend to be taller and slenderer, whereas we are generally more robust, though not significantly so. Regarding diet, it's very similar. We avoid foods that involve suffering, such as meat from exploited animals, but we do consume certain naturally farmed fish without causing ecological harm. The Tegatans typically lean towards a more plant-based diet. Nevertheless, we are quite open to exchanging customs.
And spiritually, what's our connection like?
It's very deep. Every being with a high level of consciousness understands that ultimately, we're all part of the same source. Yet each collective experiences it differently. Some emphasize technological aspects, while others take a more mystical approach. We integrate both aspects. We practice honor and communion with nature, but also rely on science. Some individuals more easily manifest their spiritual abilities, while others rely more on technology. In your case, you've always maintained a balance between both. Although on Earth, you feel limited by the human body and the absence of conscious memories.
Another more personal question. What is a romantic relationship like among Antarians?
Like any relationship, there is significant communication, understanding, and telepathy. A man doesn't approach a woman unless he first senses or understands that she reciprocates interest. It's natural, like placing two magnets close together. Once you notice mutual interest, you know compatibility is possible. Although some couples have separated for simple reasons, I won't mention names, in case it triggers memories upon your return. Some individuals haven't traveled beyond our planet, and perhaps haven't had the chance to broaden their perspective. Visiting other ships or spending time on Earth helps us shed many prejudices. We observe human life, their relationships, and the pain of rejection. Here it's different.
Yes, sorry. Here, I've experienced a lot of rejection from people I've liked or had relationships with. I feel that pain.
Of course. You're seeking something familiar from your origin, and what you know isn't human. Here, love is understood differently. You know that first, you must love yourself to attract similar love. On Earth, they see it backwards. They believe that finding someone will bring love and happiness. Actually, if you know, care for, and love yourself, you'll attract someone who also knows, cares for, and loves themselves similarly. Then mutual love naturally occurs. But if you're dealing with self-rejection and denial, you'll attract someone who mirrors that. Here we carefully choose partners. We work extensively on ourselves, similar to other bases, like the Ngoms. Once you've found a partner, separation is unlikely because all necessary internal work has already been done. That's the significant difference. Here, we prepare internally first. Ultimately, a relationship means sharing your essence integrally with another person.
I understand. Do you remember if we flew any ships together on Earth? I don't have any memories, but did something like that happen?
It could have occurred between 1900 and 1930, when human civilization was at a medium level of development. Perhaps it happened near what they call Tartaria, close to Russia. We could approach to observe the progress of that civilization, sometimes interacting a bit. If you've dreamt about it, there's a reason you're asking. So yes, it's possible, and it was around that time.
Do you have some kind of meter for my frequency or location? And am I abducted? Are the Greys abducting me?
We don't abduct as such. The gardeners do it for us, under supervision. When you moved countries, for example, when you relocated to Argentina, it was necessary to make adjustments to your biology, that is, calibrations to adapt to the environment. Often it's done to stabilize energy peaks, so that your avatar, your body, functions properly. It's also done to update your body when your level of consciousness changes, to keep it functioning well. When your consciousness awakens as a creator, your higher self, and there's no longer separation between yourself here and yourself there, your memories will return. Until then, memory remains veiled. The human body isn't designed to handle so much information at once. It would wear down and further limit the process. Hence, those calibrations.
I understand. Another question. Is there any way to know if my telepathic messages reach you immediately when I send them?
Telepathy arrives instantly. The issue is that now, since I'm no longer in Earth's orbit, it reaches me as an echo. It isn't about me. It's because you are surrounded by a soup of energies, frequencies, internet, radio, and other technologies you're not even aware of. All of that interferes. I recommend going into nature when you want to send me something. Approach a tree, as they're living antennas for sending and receiving. If you camp in an open space, surrounded by nature and relaxed, your messages will come through more clearly.
Perfect, I'll do that. Could you spell your name for me?
Of course, my name is Aika. She explains that in human language, there are no exact equivalents, so she does the best she can with letters and signs. It's pronounced somewhat like a prolonged A sound with inflections.
And what did I call you?
You called me something translated as the light reflecting in my eyes. It wasn't related to my real name, but was a term of affection you used.
I'm delighted. It's wonderful to hear you, to know about you. It feels like a reunion that fills my heart. Were you ever physically close to me there on Earth?
I would have loved to, but I wasn't. It's forbidden. I would have been expelled from Earth's orbit. Several times I intended to, but someone always helped me regain clarity. Here, we're very passionate, and sometimes our emotions try to overpower reason. But there are always friends around who give good advice. Know that it's not just me who misses and appreciates you, but the entire team.
Could you tell me their names?
Of course. They're like your brothers and sisters. Saniel and Tanael, with whom you joke around most and spend your time inventing things. Naya, the doctor, who takes care of your body and ensures it stays healthy. Tario, responsible for maintaining the equipment. Anada, an expert at hacking technology or unlocking systems. My role is to retrieve important information for you to keep upon your return.
Please send them greetings and a hug. I don't remember their faces, but they have a place in my heart.
It doesn't matter if you don't remember them. We do remember you. You're part of our reality, and gradually, you'll integrate it into yours. You've already started. Now at least you know their names.
I'll send telepathic messages using their names.
They'll be happy knowing you're well and excited about what's coming. Don't forget that besides us, there are others like you out there.
Will you return to Earth's orbit?
I don't know yet. I'm currently in discussions about it. I've already done some things that weren't exactly allowed and got a warning. But it was fortunate because they sent me home, and thanks to that, I could be closer and talk with you.
I'm glad. So it's not a goodbye, but maybe we'll see each other again in your skies.
Exactly. Don't let the idea of I can't remember become an obstacle. If you remembered that incident with the ship, you'll recall more things gradually, but don't force it. Memory isn't in the mind, but in consciousness, and consciousness is connected to the heart. Connect with your heart, and you'll access your memories. Stay strong, though I already know you are. Don't let what's happening on Earth lower your frequency. Many things there are designed to make you feel lonely or limited. You're too vast for that reality, and they don't want your true essence to awaken. If something bad happens, defend yourself, not physically, but by imposing your energy and presence. Your power lies within. You don't need to look outside for it.
Thank you for your words.
Thank you for being so brave and stubborn at the same time, and for trusting your capabilities. Thank yourself every day. Recognize your worth and strength. Don't reject your essence, unify it. You hold the strength of the feminine and the courage of the masculine. Merge them into one. Love the body you have and be grateful because it allows you to experience Earth. I hope next time I'm not limited to staying here. I'd love to send that light again in the skies where you are. For now, it's not goodbye, just an I hope to see you soon.
I also hope to see that light when you send it. You'll always be the light reflecting in my eyes. See you soon.
Perhaps you might not fully understand what I'm going to say, but I'll try to express it anyway. Jatana ok.
Thank you for watching and listening to this video. What you have just witnessed is much more than an interview. It's an intimate conversation between a starseed of the Antarian race and her cosmic family, beyond this world. It is a gift from soul to soul. Lucía has chosen to share her story, not to represent her entire race, but from the deepest part of her heart, with the intention of reaching out to those souls who resonate with this frequency, who feel there is something more, and who are seeking answers on their path of self-discovery. This entire process takes place under the loving guidance and protection of beings of light, of extremely high frequencies. Although they are not incarnated, they serve as guardians and guides for the souls who have come to sow consciousness on Earth. Here you will find the Instagram accounts of Lucía and Yared. Please remember that they are both people with earthly lives to attend to, so they will only be able to respond as much as humanly possible. Lucía is one of many starseed souls who, in these times, are reconnecting with their cosmic families. As you saw in the video, this type of connection is not like the movies have made us believe. There's no need for a spaceship to land in your backyard. Today, many star races are sharing their wisdom with humanity through various means such as technology and conscious channeling. Some do so through human channels, while others communicate directly through the internet without intermediaries, sending their message to those with ears to hear and hearts to feel. A clear example of this is the Taiga Teen Race, whose transmissions you can find on the Swaru official channel. We also recommend spaces like Arian and Sail, Cosmic Agency, Despejando Enigmas, among others, where knowledge is shared with love and purpose. Communication with other worlds takes many forms, just as many as the human soul can imagine. There is no single path or one specific way to make contact. It may happen through a chat from a ship in orbit, a YouTube channel, lovingly written letters, deep channelings, or even more subtle and creative forms. What matters most is not who delivers the message, but what the message awakens within you. Listen with your soul, feel with your heart. If the information resonates, brings peace, or brings clarity, that is your answer. The essential thing is to open up, expand, question everything, and discover the truth for yourself. That is true spiritual freedom. When the intention is pure and the heart is open, the universe finds a way. The possibilities are as infinite as the imagination of an awakened being willing to manifest them. Because where there is awareness and openness, connection happens. At this point in our evolution, we can no longer blindly trust what the authorities of the world impose on us. The only truth worthy of your loyalty is the one that comes from your heart. We are not here to convince you of anything. We are here to remind you to believe in yourself, to feel your truth, and to live it with authenticity. Do not follow anyone blindly. Listen, observe, analyze, and then decide what resonates with you. Lucía shared with us that she remains in contact with her star family thanks to Yared. For her, speaking with them through Yared is as natural as a phone call with her loved ones. And this has clearly been reflected in the beautiful connection you were able to feel in this video. Thanks to the extraordinary channeling gifts of Yared Sasakahana, we have been able to witness a connection that transcends the human and reaches the stars. Channeling is a sacred bridge, a pure form of telepathy that we all possess, though some, like Yared, have developed it with deep dedication. Through this channel, beings of the highest vibration offer us guidance, clarity, and love, helping incarnated starseeds reconnect with their cosmic roots. Yes, there are many channelers, many who claim to be stellar emissaries. But remember, this is not about blind belief. It's about feeling. Truthful information speaks for itself, and your intuition will recognize it. Remember, within you also lies that sacred power that connects you to the stars. What you've felt here is just a glimpse of all that you're capable of discovering when you open yourself to the unseen. Trust your intuition. Let your heart guide you. Keep exploring with an open mind and a free spirit. You're not here by coincidence. If you've made it this far, it's because something within you is awakening. This is a call to your soul, a reminder that you too are a starseed. You have the power to remember, to reconnect, and to expand beyond all limits. Dare to discover your own truth, to write your story, and to spread your wings in this vast and loving universe. This is just the beginning of a wondrous journey, and the universe is waiting with open arms. Your journey toward greatness begins now. From Cosmic Renewal, our mission is to share information that helps you remember who you are, why you are here, and how to reconnect with your essence. Many starseeds from different races have reached out to us privately because they share our vision and wish to share their experiences, not from ego, but with genuine sincerity. Creating these videos takes time, dedication, and heartfelt energy. We do it with love, with the intention of offering you something meaningful. And just as we give, we are also open to receiving, because every exchange is part of a natural flow. If this work has resonated with you and you feel moved to support it, we invite you to become a sponsor. With your help, we can continue creating, and as a token of our gratitude, your name will appear in the credits of our upcoming productions. You can find the link in the video description. Thank you for being part of this energy we create and share with the world. Your support is the quiet yet powerful foundation that allows us to keep growing, inspiring, and touching hearts. This journey is yours too. Infinite thanks.